Been a pretty interesting couple of weeks or couple of months, especially for the South African rugby fraternity, especially this last week with, I guess, the first ever transfer deadline day. And Ed, CEO of the Sharks, is joining us today just to chat a little bit about that. Firstly, Ed, how interesting has this week been for you, considering that it is kind of a first for South African rugby franchises to deal with something like this?
Yeah, Gareth, thanks, man. Thanks for making time to chat to me. And yeah, it's been an unbelievably strange week, from getting calls at 10 o'clock at night, waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, getting WhatsApps from all over the place. So, yeah, it was unsettling, but I think there was a lot of positive to come out of it. I think we managed to communicate to our players on a different level, and I think it was also an asset test for the culture and, the structures we've put in place about a year ago to see if they actually are as successful as we think they are.
Ed, just to cut to the chase, are you able to tell us who's in and who's out in the Sharks? Because, there was a bit of speculation this morning. We understand that Tyler Paul has left, but you've managed to hold on to Lukhanyo, the Sharks skipper, as well as Makazole Mapimpi. Is that right?
So unfortunately, we did lose Tyler. Tyler exercised the clause and he's leaving. So we wish him all the well. I think he's been an unbelievable servant to Sharks Rugby, and he's always welcome at Johnson Kings Park. So, and I just before we carry on, I think, what we also said to the players is they've done nothing wrong. You haven't done anything wrong if you're speaking. It's part of professional rugby. So I think a lot of them immediately thought that they're being dishonest or they're being, not loyal to the Sharks. And I think we said to them, listen, we understand. And, my commitment to the players and Sean's commitment to the players were that we will treat them unbelievably well. But that means being honest, and I think we've relied a lot on honesty in the last 21 days. And, if you've got the caliber players that we've got, like Mapimpi and Cohen Bosch and Thomas and, Spoo, it's just endless. And then also we had a lot of attention to the good youngsters. Ruben van Heerden got an offer. JJ van der Mesh got an offer, because they are the best in their position in their age groups, so it's normal that they get the attention. I think it's also a just reward for their efforts. So we're very happy that they've all committed to us, and committing to probably a vision and a plan going forward, which gives us the undertaking that they buy into it. Because I think a year ago where there was quite a lot of media coverage around the Sharks camp and how uneasy it were, the players weren't too happy. Mm-hmm. I think if this happened a year ago, we might have been in big trouble. So at least the environment, the inclusive environment that we've created and the way we treated them might have just proven to be in our favor in this instance.
Ed, just in terms of not being able to, do counter offers and that sort of thing during the week and the last few weeks, I guess, how difficult was that? Because I guess you're kind of just sitting in the dark, hoping that by midnight on Thursday night, your best players haven't signed contracts overseas.
Yeah, that was unbelievably strange. We're in a professional environment where we're competing with. Sorry, I've just got some visitors here. So we are close. We do keep our social distancing, and here's my mask for just the ones who want to hate. I've got a mask. If they walk in, I'll put my mask on.
Oh, there we go.
But, it was really strange for us to not be able to counter that. But I think it's also there's a lot of trust involved. So post COVID-19 in a new contract, we can negotiate terms with them that hopefully can compensate them, but nothing in the current contract and nothing during the industry savings plan, which was really tough for us.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you that as well. In terms of the actual COVID-19 situation and the measures that have been put in place by SA Rugby, I guess it's also down to a franchise level to have these conversations and contract negotiations with players. Have you had to enforce any pay cuts or anything like that? I'm not sure how much you can divulge in that.
Yeah, I think it's been well media. There's been a lot of media coverage around the industry savings plan. Did we agree with it? Yes, with a collective agreement, with COVID-19 putting a strain on the industry for sure. But, they imposed percentages and stuff like that was something that we weren't totally comfortable with. But, however, we're part of a collective as SA Rugby. Our main aim is to make sure that the Sharks do well, but the Sharks can only do well if there's a healthy South African rugby landscape. That's why we stayed part of the collective and why we adhere to those collective decisions.
Conversations around a plan for rugby to get back underway in the country. Obviously, it all comes down to the lockdown levels and that sort of thing. Have you had any clarity from government as to when you guys might be able to get back on the field? Because obviously New Zealand are forging ahead with their local sort of Super Rugby competition that they're going to be doing domestically there. Are you guys hoping to follow suit? And do you have anything in terms of dates for something like that?
Yeah, Gareth, we don't have any dates at the moment. We do. We've written protocols and we've submitted that to SARugby. SARugby submitted stuff to government. I think our main goal in this environment is to make sure that the South African public's safe. And if we can find ways to practice professional sport within those structures, by all means, we're keen. I know the players are extremely keen to get back on the field. And I believe as soon as we can start training, we'll probably end up playing behind closed doors, and then we'll have a new norm. But at least we were able to follow the boys on the great product that DSTV allows us to watch in the comfort of our homes.
Ed, just lastly, it was announced this morning that the June tests have been scrapped sort of internationally. And can you chat a little bit about how that hurts the Sharks specifically financially? Because obviously there is a lot of income to be made off a test in Durban.
I think we've really taken a lot of knocks on the commercial side, but we've got a really strong board that helps me in managing and like financial controls we've got in place helps us. The corporate governance within the Sharks are at a level that we've built structures and that safeguard the business. So an event like a test match that we've missed is for me more of a pity for the public, because we want to give the KZN rugby public the best product in terms of Super Rugby and also in test matches, and it would have been great to watch the World Cup champs playing, but that time will come. This will pass. We believe and we pray for this to pass quickly, and like that we'll be able to do what we love in front of the people we love. So at the moment it isn't ideal, but I believe we'll get there one day, and then we'll think back to this as just a terrible memory, but also a valuable learning curve.
Thanks very much for taking the time to chat to us today, and hopefully we will get to see the Sharks back on the rugby fields in the next couple of months. But also well done for enduring a pretty tough week. I'm sure it was quite stressful.
Thanks, Gareth, and thanks for all the support, and keep safe. And to all our fans, please keep safe, take care of yourself. We can't wait to see you at Johnson Kings Park soon.